Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing Chapter 11, Managing Knowledge and Information. This topic focuses on how organizations handle knowledge as a valuable resource. We'll explore how knowledge is created, shared, and used to improve decision making and innovation. Knowledge management is the set of business processes developed in an organization to create, store, transfer, and apply knowledge, and it is becoming a major investment area in both businesses and government organizations. Over the years, research in knowledge management has rapidly grown, especially in fields like business, economics, and information systems. One important idea here is that knowledge and collaboration go hand in hand. So knowledge is only useful if it is shared and communicated. Otherwise, it has no value to the organization. We are now living in an information economy where knowledge and information are the main drivers of success. So companies no longer rely only on physical assets, they also rely heavily on intangible assets like knowledge, brand reputation, and expertise. In fact, a large of portion of a company's value comes from these intangible assets. However, one challenge is that the impact of knowledge management is difficult to measure. Despite that, many organizations still invest in it because it leads to better decisions, innovation, and long-term growth. Let's now understand the difference between data, knowledge, and wisdom. Data refers to raw facts, which are unprocessed and have little meaning on their own. Example of data are numbers like sales figures or attendance records. So when we organize and process data, it becomes knowledge. This means the data now has meaning and can help us understand situations. And when we apply knowledge effectively in decision making, it becomes wisdom. Wisdom is about using what we know to make the best possible decisions. In organizations, knowledge is considered a valuable asset. It exists in two forms: tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge are like personal experience, skills, and insights, which are hard to document, while explicit knowledge are written or recorded information like manuals and reports. Also, knowledge is situational. This means its value depends on how and where it is used. Knowledge management is closely related to organizational learning. Organizations don't just store knowledge, they also learn and improve over time. So this happens through gaining experience, collecting and analyzing data, adjusting actions and behaviors. So as organizations learn, they become more efficient and productive. This continuous learning helps them adapt to changes, solve problems, and innovate. So knowledge management is not just about storing information, it's about creating a learning environment. Knowledge management follows a process called the value chain, which includes five stages. First is knowledge acquisition, gathering information from different sources such as employees, documents, or external research. Second is knowledge storage, saving knowledge in databases or systems for future use. Third is the knowledge dissemination, sharing knowledge through training, meetings, or digital tools. Fourth is knowledge application, using knowledge to solve problems or improve processes. The last stage is building organizational capital, which is creating a culture that encourages collaboration and knowledge sharing. So these steps ensure that knowledge creates real value for the organization. Our next topic is the enterprise-wide knowledge management system. These systems are used across the entire organization to manage knowledge. So their main purpose is to collect, store, and distribute information efficiently. They include tools for searching information, storing documents, communication like emails, chats, and video calls. They also integrate external sources like news and research data. So overall, these systems help organizations to make better decisions, improve efficiency, and share knowledge easily. In today's digital business environment, managing both structured and unstructured knowledge is essential. Structured knowledge includes formal documents, rules, and procedures, while unstructured data, which makes up about 80% of business content, includes emails, memos, images, and a video scattered across different platforms. Enterprise Content Management Systems, or ECMS, help organizations capture, store, retrieve, distribute, and preserve all types of information. So they transform scattered data into organized knowledge that supports better decision making and collaboration. Key features of ECMS is that it handles semi-structured content like emails and reports and provide collaboration tools such as chat, video, conferencing, wikis, and blogs. They also connect external sources like news feeds and research databases. The leading providers of ECMS includes Oracle, IBM, OpenText, and EMC Documentum. We have here a sample case study, which is a case study of Barrick Gold. So to give you a background, Barrick Gold is the world's largest gold producer with 20,000 employees and 26 active mines. The challenge is, because of multiple locations, the data are scattered. As a solution, Barrick Gold implemented ECMS using OpenText to consolidate data from 26 mines and 20,000 employees. OpenText enabled Barrick Gold to transform fragmented data into a centralized, collaborative knowledge hub, ensuring that best practices were captured, shared, and sustained across its global operations. As a result, their knowledge center became a central hub for policies, procedures, and best practices. It tracks document versions, user access, and support communities of practice through wikis and forums. Major challenge in ECMS is developing a clear taxonomy, which is a classification system that tags and organizes knowledge for easy retrieval. Tagging ensures that information can be quickly accessed and shared across departments. So, enterprise content management systems are vital tools for turning information overload into organized intelligence, enabling efficiency, collaboration, and innovation. As I have mentioned, not all valuable knowledge in organizations is stored in documents or databases. Often, expertise resides in the minds of employees, their experiences, projects, and insights. So, the main idea is that knowledge network systems bridge this gap by creating online directories of corporate experts. So these directories include biographies, work history, current projects, publications, and academic credentials. With search tools, employees can quickly identify the right specialist for a problem. For features, knowledge networks often integrate with enterprise content management, social networking, and collaboration tools. So this means employees can connect not only to documents but also directly to people who hold critical knowledge. For applications, it is useful in large organizations where expertise is spread across departments or geographies, helps avoid duplication of effort, speeds up problem solving, and strengthens collaboration. Systems for knowledge networks turn individual expertise into organizational intelligence, ensuring that the right knowledge is accessible when and where it's needed. Collaboration today goes beyond traditional teamwork. It's powered by social tools and learning platforms. So these systems help employees share knowledge, learn continuously, and work more effectively together. Example of social tools is social bookmarking. So this allows users to save and tag web resources with keywords, making them easier to find and share. So tags create taxonomies, which is user-generated taxonomies for organizing knowledge. Popular example of platforms are Delicious, Slashdot, and Pinterest. For example, a wind energy research team could tag relevant web pages with wind power, making them searchable and shareable across the group. Learning Management Systems or LMS platform track, manage, and evaluate employee learning. So they support multiple formats like online classes, videos, live sessions, discussion boards, and chat. So they unify blended learning, automate course administration, and measure learning effectiveness. For example, is when Solutions LLC trains companies like Procter and Gamble, Colgate Palmolive, and Delta Airlines using Digitex Knowledge Direct LMS. The features are online course access, automated registration, reminders, completion acknowledgements, reporting tools, and branded corporate logins. Collaboration impact. So social tools and LMS together create a culture of shared learning and collaboration. They make knowledge resources accessible, track employee development, and strengthen teamwork across organizations. By combining social platforms with learning management systems, companies empower employees to share, learn, and grow, driving innovation and organizational success. Enterprise-wide knowledge systems serve all employees, but knowledge workers need specialized tools. So knowledge workers, which are the researchers, engineers, and designers, they drive innovations. So their roles is to keep organizations informed, act as a consultants, and serve as change agents. So beyond office tools, they need specialized systems with visualizations, analytics, and database access. Examples are the CAD systems for design engineers and the financial workstations for analysts. So these tailored systems ensure efficiency and support organizational change. Following are examples of knowledge work systems. CAD or the computer aided design systems automate design, reduce costs, and support 3D printing. Virtual reality immerses users in simulations used in medical training and automotive design. Augmented reality overlays digital visuals on real environments, aiding surgery and engineering. Financial workstations like Bloomberg terminals integrate market data and client info, streamlining investment decisions. So these systems transform design, training, and finance. Organizations today rely on intelligent techniques from AI and database technology to capture knowledge and discover insights. These methods help manage tacit knowledge, uncover hidden patterns, and solve complex problems. So, types of intelligent techniques are expert systems, case based reasoning, and fuzzy logic, while advanced AI techniques includes data mining, neural networks, genetic algorithms, and intelligent agents. So together, these intelligent techniques expand organizational knowledge, enhance decision making, and provide adaptive solutions to today's complex challenges. Let us discuss the first type of intelligent technique, which is the expert systems. Expert systems are intelligent tools designed to capture tacit knowledge in narrow, specialized areas of human skill. So they store expert knowledge as rules in software, increasing the organization's memory and learning capacity. Its capabilities and limitations. Expert systems perform limited structured tasks like loan approvals or diagnosing faulty equipment. So they lack the depth of and comprehension of human experts and cannot solve highly complex problems. However, they help organizations make better decisions with fewer personnel by embedding expert experience into systems. So how do they work? Expert systems rely on a knowledge base, which is a set of rules, often numbering in the hundreds or thousands. An inference engine searches this knowledge base using two main techniques: forward chaining and backward chaining. Forward chaining starts with user input and applies rules sequentially until a conclusion is reached. For example, if a client's name is entered, rules fire as more data is added, like property ownership. So continuing until no more rules apply. While backward chaining begins with a hypothesis and asks questions to verify or refute it. So example is asking, should we add this person to the prospect database? These rules confirm based on actions like insurance issuance or advisor visits. So expert systems don't replace human experts, but they capture and apply their knowledge in structured ways, which enables organizations to make consistent, rule-based decisions. Example case study for a successful expert systems is the Conway Transportation's line haul system optimized freight routing. So it processed 50,000 shipments nightly, saving 3 million in 2 years. The benefits are fewer drivers, fuller trailers, reduced damage, and less dispatcher workload. So expert systems excel in structured, rule-based environments but require costly development and maintenance. Second intelligent technique is the case-based reasoning or CBR. So CBR stores past cases and applies solutions to new problems with similar traits. So unlike expert systems' rigid rules, CBR evolves as new cases are added. So this is applied in customer support and medical diagnostics. It strengthens organizational intelligence by turning experience into a living knowledge base. So the third intelligent technique is the fuzzy logic systems. So unlike traditional if-then logic, people often think in approximate categories like hot or cold, small or large. So fuzzy logic captures this imprecision and translates it into adaptable rules for computers. So the concept is it uses membership functions to define overlapping categories. For example, cool might range from 23 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees, but it most strongly cool between 18 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees. So this allows systems to handle uncertainty and make nuance adjustments. So how does it work? Rules combine vague definitions of temperature, humidity, and external conditions. For example, um, the equipment should raise heat and humidity if the room is chilly, humidity is low, and outdoor wind is high. So the system integrates these inputs and adjusts outputs smoothly. Example of application of the fuzzy logic is in the camera autofocus, which relies on fuzzy logic for precision. In management, fuzzy logic helps with decision making, detection, and investment tools. So its benefits includes handles complex imprecise problems better than rigid rules, provide smooth adaptive control in engineering and consumer electronics, and it captures tacit knowledge in uncertain environments. So fuzzy logic bridges human intuition and machine reasoning, enabling smarter, more adaptive systems in both technology and business. Let us discuss now the advanced AI techniques. First is the machine learning. So machine learning is about how computer programs improve performance without explicit reprogramming. Like humans, computers can identify patterns in data and adjust their behavior based on experience. A self-driving car, for example, should detect vehicles and people, then decide whether to stop, go, slow down, or turn. So this idea has been around since the 1970s but only became practical in the 1990s with advances in algorithms, databases, robotics, and computing power. So over the past decade, machine learning has grown rapidly thanks to better algorithms, larger databases, more powerful affordable computing, the internet, and big data as proving grounds. So we use machine learning daily, often without realizing it. Google search ranks billions of websites in milliseconds, adapting results based on your queries and past clicks. Amazon recommends products based on your purchase history and the habits of similar buyers. Netflix suggests films using recommender systems that analyze viewing patterns. Machine learning is now at the core of digital services, continuously learning from user behavior to deliver smarter, more personalized experiences. The advanced approaches of machine learning, which are the neural networks and genetic algorithms. Neural networks are designed to solve um, complex problems where large amounts of data exist but patterns are difficult for humans to detect. They mimic the processing of the human brain using interconnected nodes. So networks are trained with input data and expected outputs. So if the output is wrong, corrections are applied to hidden nodes until accuracy improves. Self-organizing networks can also learn patterns without explicit guidance. For example, Google built a neural network with over a billion connections that learned to recognize cats from YouTube images without human labeling. Another example is Visa uses neural networks to detect credit card fraud by monitoring sudden changes in purchasing patterns. Another example, medical uses include diagnosing Alzheimer's, epilepsy, and coronary artery disease. But unlike expert systems, neural networks often cannot explain how they reach a conclusion, so they may not guarantee the best solution and are sensitive to training quality. Best use It is best used as supplements to human decision makers. And the genetic algorithms solve problems by simulating evolution using selection, mutation, and crossover. So they search through thousands of possible solutions to find the best one. So how do they work? Potential solutions are represented as strings of zeros and ones. A fitness test ranks solutions, keeping the best and discarding the worst. New generations evolve until an optimal solution is found. Examples of genetic algorithms is the General Electric used genetic algorithms to optimize jet turbine engine design, adjusting up to 100 variables per update. Supply chain software from i2 Technologies uses them to optimize production schedules across thousands of details. So neural networks and genetic algorithms represent powerful intelligent techniques. One learns patterns from data, the other evolves optimal solutions. Together, they expand the problem-solving capacity of modern organizations. Intelligent agents are computer programs that perform a specialized task without direct human involvement. So they search through massive amounts of data, automate activities, and make decisions using built-in or learned knowledge bases. Examples of use are common tasks include removing spam emails, setting up appointments, or finding the cheapest flight. Another example is Microsoft Office wizards anticipate user needs and guide tasks like formatting documents. Another example, shopping bots help customers compare products and prices. Siri, Apple's voice assistant, adapts to user preferences, answering questions, booking tickets, and sending messages. So some agents follow simple rules, while others learn and adapt based on experience. Siri, for example, personalizes results over time and understands natural speech. Beyond individual tasks, agents can simulate complex systems. So they model consumer behavior, stock markets, supply chains, and even epidemic spread. Example case study is the Procter and Gamble. So Procter and Gamble use agent-based modeling to simulate its supply chain. Agents represented trucks, factories, distributors, and retailers, each following simple rules like order when out of stock. Simulations showed that dispatching partially loaded trucks reduced stockouts and lost sales. As a result, Procter and Gamble saved $300 million annually at a cost of less than 1% of the total of that total. Artificial intelligent hybrid systems combine the strengths and multiple AI technologies into one application. So they integrate genetic algorithms, fuzzy logic, neural networks, and expert systems to create more powerful and adaptive solutions. So instead of relying on a single technique, hybrid systems leverage complementary methods. This allows them to handle complex problems more effectively and flexibly. Hybrid AI is increasingly used in business products such as home appliances, manufacturing equipment, and office systems. So companies like Hitachi, Mitsubishi, Ricoh, and Sanyo are leading in these innovations. Example of hybrid is the NeuroFuzzy systems. So Matsushita developed a NeuroFuzzy washing machine that combines fuzzy logic and neural networks. This integration allows the machine to make smarter, decisions about washing cycles. Hybrid AI systems represent the future of intelligent technologies, blending different approaches to deliver smarter, more efficient, and more adaptive solutions across industries. So that ends my presentation and discussion. Thank you po for listening.